Hi everybody, it's Nell Thames with Stamp with Nell. Remember that's Nell with one L. Um, and today we're going to do a really simple card. This is, I call it a masculine card only because of the colors I used. Obviously, if you change the colors and maybe even add a little bit of, a little more bling, it would do just as well for a woman. So this is the exterior and the interior. And I have to admit that I saw an ad for a card by one of the big box craft stores, and this is the card that they made with the dies that they were selling. So um, that's what we're going to do. We are going to make this masculine card. I'm going to put it right up here, so hopefully you can continue to see it as we go along. So I posted by accident. I already posted the information on my blog, so you can get the video. I'm sorry, the PDF tutorials there already. And if you're interested in rewatching the video, I will link that to the blog as well. So we have a couple of different colors of cardstock. We have crumb cake, early espresso, pool party, and very vanilla. This is one of my last sheets of very vanilla, so hopefully my order gets here soon because I am running out. We're going to cut today. I don't usually do that. David is with me. He's actually traveling, but he's online, and we were talking beforehand about the fact that I feel like this is going to be a quick card, so I was just going to cut on camera. So I used the 2-inch circle punch to cut a piece of a crumb cake circle. So that's that piece. And then I'm going to cut a 3/8 inch, and I know not everybody likes eighths, but it's just 2 ticks to the left of the half. So 3/8 inches by 2 inch. And actually, there's a bunch of little pieces here. If you just want to cut a bigger piece, which is what I did initially, cut a bigger piece and then by 1 1/4, and then just cut as you go. That works as well. So there's that. Ooh, I need to change my blade. I'm so sorry. Yikes. So that's the crumb cake. For the early espresso, that is our card base. So we're going to cut that at 4 1/4 by 11, and then score at 5 1/2, and then fold. And I do fold before I assemble my card. And then we're also going to cut 2 2-inch circles. I'm sorry, I hope that's not too loud. I love this circle punch. Even though I have other circles, the circle punch is so easy to just pull out and use. So now 1/4, and yes, this one is different than the others. 1/4 by 4 1/2. So this should be exactly the right size. So I'm going to do that one, and then 2 1/4 inches by 6. I don't know if I left myself enough room here. I sure did, just barely. Okay, 2 1/4 by 6. Sometimes I go just a little over. I feel like 2 1/4 is kind of tight for my liking. So we'll put this off to the side. We'll put that in with the browns. Okay, and then the pool party. And like I said, these written instructions are all, they're already linked to my blog at stampwithnell1l.com. 3/8 inch by 1 5/8 inch. So 1 5/8 is just 2 ticks over the half. So there's that one. And then 3/8 by 1 1/8. Sorry for all the eighths. I know they're. You could go to the quarters. It wouldn't make much difference. It's really just makes these strips a little bit longer, and you can trim them as you desire. And then 3/8 by 4 1/4. So I'm thinking this is 4 1/4. It should be, because that would be exactly how I would cut it. Yep, 4 1/4. Okay. And then for this one, 1 2 3/8 inch circle. So I use a punch for that as well, which is why it's 2 3/8. So you don't have to actually measure the 3/8 at this point. All right, I'm sorry, I hope that's not too loud. All right, and then the Very Vanilla. So we're going to cut two pieces. They're going to be 4 1/8. So 2 ticks over 4 by, I think it's 5 3/8. So there's 1, and then again 4 1/8. I think there was a better way to cut that. I should have thought that one out first. All right, by 5 3/8, and that's 1 for the top and 1 for the inside. Just make sure I cut them the same size. I did, and we'll put. Now we can put the trimmer away. So we start with one piece of one of the Very Vanilla pieces, and we're going to start with this centerpiece. So the long pool party. And all I did was just center it approximately, and then put the early espresso on there. I think it's a little long. There we go. It's a little on the long side. I think I'm going to trim that off just a little bit. But I'm going to do it with the trimmer because I'm not great at cutting straight. So I'm just going to trim it, let's just say, I think we wanted this 4 inches anyway, so let's go with 4 inches. Oops, so sorry. All right, we'll get out that liquid glue. And just put a small line of liquid glue here. Move this off the card top. So the idea is to center it top and bottom, and then on the sides, and it's just a stripe going down the center. And then we're going to center it on this page, approximately center, with a strip of glue. This is a little, in my opinion, a little narrow for Stampin' Seal. But if you're a die-hard fan, you could use it. I don't think that's straight. Nope. That's why I like the glue, because I'm not always getting it on there straight. All right, and then we're going to cut one of the 2-inch circles in half. Again, I'm going to see here. I thought I was done with the trimmer, and I'm just going to. It doesn't have to be exactly, but you can tell if you center it between the ones, and then I would push up with my trimmer in this case because I want to push it kind of into the upper edge so it holds more stable. And I'm just going to glue that to the right-hand upper side, the upper right-hand side. Let's say that the more reasonable way. And then just line it up with the edge. See, again, the liquid glue is my friend here, so that I can get it all lined up with the edge. There we go. All right. And then now that we've got this centerpiece, we're going to take the longer of the pool party pieces, and we're just going to lay it down to the right of the inner piece, or the right of the centerpiece, and then we're going to butt this crumb cake right up against it. The placement is not precise. It doesn't have to be. It is just as good as you can get it, kind of in between the two, not touching the top of the card layer. And then we'll do a little bit more glue here, and just butt them right up against each other. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, but we're going to come from the bottom. And again, placement is not crucial. It's wherever you like it. All right, and then the crumb cake. And butt up right up against it again. All right. Then we'll take the 2-inch early espresso, I'm sorry, the crumb cake, and this one we're going to glue. And it is going to be over this edge, and that's okay, just based on the way I put it here today. I'm sorry, Pixie is having an issue. What's your issue, honey? Okay. Shh. Mama's filming. Shh. Okay. Okay, we're gonna be quiet now. It's just based on the where I put the where I put my center strip. I'm not going to worry about, because I'm going to pop the next one, this early espresso on dimensionals, and so it'll be fine. All right, and then we're going to cut the pool party in half, just like we cut the early espresso in half. And this one is 2 3/8, so it's going to be an approximate half is good enough. We could even cut that a little bit bigger. I feel like that might be a little bit bigger. Approximately is just as good. It's not. All right. And then this one I am going to pop up on dimensionals. And so if you want to, you can move it in, you can move it out. This one I made, so you can see that I was not exact where I put my strips this time. And it's never the same. You know how that is. It's never the same. So I like my take your pick tool to put my half dimensionals on. I know that if you've watched me before, you have seen me use the half dimensionals. I am a new fan of half dimensionals, and all I do is just cut them in half up the center, and then when I run out of half dimensionals, I cut some more. Although I did learn the first time, it's harder for me if I cut them all the way through the first time. So I got into the habit now of just doing it in about halfway up. All right, so we're going to place this about here. I do have it even with the very vanilla edge. There we go. Okay, that's that. Now, we are going to we're going to put that aside for now, and we're going to close up the glue because we know glue is dangerous. And hold on just a moment. Amazon, turn off fan C. I'm sorry, I left my fan on, and I don't like to have the fan on when I use the embossing powder. So we are going to use basic white embossing powder on the early espresso. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Just rub that over there. And then we are using I didn't even tell you what stamps that we're using. We're using the layering leaves. I've used this a lot in the last several videos and blog posts. And it's because I really like the font on the sentiment. And the only thing we're using from here, let me see if I can talk and put this on straight. Nope, I can't. So we're gonna stop talking. The only thing we're using from here is the Hello stamp and the textured stamp. That's all we're using. So I have the Embossing Editions toolkit, and I really like it. It took me a little bit to get used to it. Oops, that's the wrong way. There we go. But I really like it because then it just feeds everything right back into my containers. I actually emptied out my container, so you could use it the other way, but for right now, this is how we're going to use it. And then that's a little awkward because I should have put it on the other side. So I'm just going to make sure there's no extra powder. I see a piece right here that I don't like, so I'm going to take that off with my brush that comes in the toolkit. Now I need to do this again. There we go. All right, and then I will, after a bit, I will pour this back in here, just like this, and then I'll clean it out with the brush to make sure that I get all of my powder back in my container. However, you don't need to or want to watch me do that right now. I don't like to turn my my heat tool on until everything is put away and covered. one little dot that's bothering me right there. Okay, so we're going to hold this way. My heating tool is over here. And it's going to get a little bit loud. If you can't hear me talk, I apologize. All right, so I let it warm up a little bit, and now I'm going to hold it in my left hand so you can see it. And the idea is to heat it up and make it melt. And there it goes. So if you see on the O side, it becomes, instead of looking powdery, it looks like a solid. So there we go. And I have a tendency to stop too soon. There we go. I hope that wasn't horrible. So I'm just going to let this cool off a little bit. Okay. I'm going to let this cool off a little bit and put my, move my things out of the way here while it cools. All right. And I'll put this over here. I did realize I didn't bring out the textured stamp. So while it's cooling, I'll get this textured stamp that is right here in the lovely layer. It's this one right here. So we're using this Hello, which I love, and then this textured stamp. I don't know about you, but I have I have 6 of these size D acrylic blocks because I try to use, I use many of them at a time, especially during a video. So you probably don't need 6, but I have 6 of them. And I find that I'm sorry, I got a little bit of powder there. I like having multiples because I don't do well using the back side. I know some people can stamp the back side. I can't do that very well. So I am not that talented. All right, so now we're going to put this about here. And the only thing that I'm going to say about this is I want to start my dimensionals on the very vanilla. I don't want it sitting on top of these things or on top of my strips, because it might raise it unevenly, and we don't want it uneven. We want to make sure that it fits properly. So we'll put one down here. I think that's, and then I'm going to check before I push hard. I'm going to check. Now I know there's not one over here. If I feel like I need one, I will find a place to put it. I forgot to take my things off. There we go. Okie dokie. And it's not that you can't put it on there. I just don't want it to be all uneven. So, I think I'm going to go this way with it just a little bit. And then I'm going to put one under here. And I'm going to make that one not quite a half dimensional. I'm going to take one of my borders off. And I am just going to slide it in under here. I think we're going to have to put one there. All right, we're going to slide it in again. I don't think it'll be too bad. It'll just sit there, right? You're watching me do surgery on the dimensional here. It would be easier to just get another one. There we go. Okay. The other thing you could do, I learned this from another demonstrator, but you can also put strips. So if I specifically have a lot of white strips, small ones that maybe are a 1/4 inch wide, you can build up instead of having used dimensionals here, I could have stacked 2 or 3 strips, and then it would be a little bit lower, but it would be as high as these 2 strips. So, okay, enough of that. So now I'm going to grab a Pool Party, the Dark Pool Party blends with the brush end, not the bullet end. And I know they're over here because I put them there. And I'm going to color a large, a medium, and a small. I think my instructions might say a large and 2 smalls, but I was forgetting there's a medium here too. I'll give that a second to dry. It does dry pretty quick. Put that here. See, this is why to give it a second to dry. need have a putty tool coming too because my putty is running out here. All right, and that goes there. And then, what's this other one I colored? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It's hiding over here. All right. And then comes, you know what's coming, more dimensionals. So on this, I will do minimally. I will put 9 back here. And I don't think, again, they're half dimensional, so I don't think 9 is too many. And I just like the stability it gives. I like, even if they were full dimensionals, I would put 9, because you can never have too many dimensionals. If Mary was here, I would say, isn't that right, Mary? All right. See, I can't grab it with, because I don't have any nails, and I sure can't grab it. I'm definitely not doing well with my pick here. There we go. I don't know about you, but we have these dimensional things, the dimensional backings all over the house. They have a life of their own. All right, now I did a small border, so this is going to be just that, I'm not even sure it's an 1/8. I think it's a 16th inch border. So stick with me as I try to make sure I get it on straight. There we go. Okay, so that's that part. And then we're going to work on the inside. Oh, see, dimensional. Dimensional back. They're everywhere. We're going to work on the inside. And, oops, you know what? I told my husband I was definitely ready to go. And I did not pull. Oh, David, I know you can hear me, but I don't think they can. Sorry. I'm coming. I'm sorry, I forgot something. I'll be right there. Coming. I'm coming. There we go. So sorry, forgot to get my ink. So sorry. I was saying I told my husband I was ready to go, and I did not pull my ink. So, a couple of things we're going to do here. We're going to texture this in the corners. We don't want to do that. And all I did was stamp with each one one time. So just in the corners. And I stamped off because I don't want it too dark. So stamp off and stamp. And then, yes, I'm going to clean it in between because I do not want to mix. Because one of these days I will stamp the lighter one. And I turned my stamp so that I get a different part of it. And then pool party. Now this one, more likely I could stamp. There we go. And it's just texture. It's not anything fancy, but it's something that I particularly like to do in cards is use the texture stamps. I don't know if you saw today, if you got my email newsletter, but there is their new online exclusives, and there was a texture stamp in there that I was all, oops, I forgot to stamp off because I was talking. But there was a texture stamp in there that I was all over. I'm not going to put this ink away yet. I'm going to close them because if I don't, the card and or my hand will end up in the ink. But I'm not going to put it away yet because we're going to stamp with the textured stamp again. But that the art, I think it's called So Art of Texture or Of Art and Texture, something like that. And it's just texture. I can't wait to see it in person. I'm looking for my, sorry, heat gun just went flying. I'm looking for my seal, which I can't find. There it is. All right, so you know that I prefer to put Stampin' Seal on the inside layer of my cards, the layer I'm going to write on. And that's because I don't want bumps from glue. As much as I love liquid glue, this is the one place I don't want to put liquid glue and have those bumps there. Okay, so this part is done. Now there's a little bit of work to do on for the envelope. And I'm kind of running out of room, so it is moving into it's encroaching on my space here. So this is the Simply Scored board, and it's an interesting tool. I kind of thought, well, I have the paper trimmer, I don't need the scoreboard, but I do find that there are times, especially if you make boxes, there are times when I really want the board. So I do have one, and it has, oh, sorry. If you were with us the other day, and when I frayed the ribbon, it has some ribbon frayings here. So I am just going to push it up against the edge, and this is for my flap of the flap of my envelope, and I am just going to randomly score lines. So you can certainly do this with your paper trimmer. I just think it's way easier and faster to do it with the scoreboard. Plus, it's fun. It's fun to make these little lines. Okay, oops, that one didn't come out. So if you do what I just did and your line isn't exactly right, you can fix it. You can also take your bone folder from the opposite side and kind of push it out, and that works too. And my envelope, okay. All right. So a little bit of glue. I did make one today, one envelope flap. Now I'm going to put the bumpy side up, just because I like it that way, but you could use it the other way as well. Just how I learned how to do it. But I did use seal on an envelope today. I know you'll be amazed at that. But I did paper snips to trim around the edges. This I am not a huge fussy cutter, so some days this is as fussy as I want to cut. I think part of it is I just don't want to slow down enough to do it well. But man, I've seen some really impressive fussy cutters. Are you a fussy cutter? Because if you are, I applaud you. All right. So bless you, Pixie. So I'm back to my textured stamp. And here again, we're going to start with crumb cake. Probably should start with Pool Party. I'm only starting with crumb cake because it's at the top of my list, because it's a C. Because it's alphabetically. When I make my supply list, I try to put my ink and paper in alphabetical order, just cause. And so I think that's why I started with that. All right, so we're gonna turn the early espresso around. Ooh, it's a little bit wet from my chamois. I guess I need to let that dry a little. No worries, it'll dry. There, okay. I'm using not using the actual Stampin' Up! Chamois that's that would be drier than what I'm using. I like, this one is just kind of portable. The other one's portable too. But it's really dirty and I don't want you to see it. So I probably should use it just so you all know I use it. I'll have to show it to you if I can find it. Okay, so then, and now I'm going to restamp the hello. I'm sorry. So the other day, I think it was yesterday morning, I was stamping. I was working on something with the Merry and Bright. It has the lines or the wire for the lights, and I dropped the inked stamp. Well, the whole thing, the stamp and the acrylic block, on my white shirt. So it's not unusual for me to drop things. All right, I inked this up in early espresso. And I'm just going to stamp it randomly here. I can see that there we go. And there we go. That is, I'm pretty sure this is the one we made. Yep, there's the other one. So that's it. That is the card. It's really simple, really easy. And I hope you give it a try. It doesn't take, I know I showed you a variety of supplies, but you certainly can use what you have. If you have circle dies, use them. If you know, obviously you change the colors to what suits you, and you know, if you need a Stampin' Up! Representative or a demonstrator, and you need supplies, I'm happy to be that demonstrator, and I'd be honored if you'd choose me. But you can certainly make this card because it's so simple. It's just, you know, it's just cutting and circles. And most people have circle dies. So I hope that you enjoyed this easy to make card, and that if you do make it, that you'll make it and send it off right away so that someone you love gets a card in the mail. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. This video will be posted to my blog, Stamp with Nell, N-E-L, within the next half an hour or so, and then you can go and rewatch, and you can shop with me if you'd like. My host code is on the blog at the bottom of my blog page near the products. And if you spend $50 or more with me, I will send you a free $10 gift of your choosing from the annual catalog or the current mini catalog. And that's it. So I appreciate you so much for stopping by. If you're a replay viewer, I appreciate you as well. If you're on YouTube, if you would subscribe and like my video, and then set yourself to get all notifications so that you know the next time I go live. I am setting up a new live schedule. My schedule will be Tuesday at 6 p.m., Thursday at 6 a.m., and Saturday at 6 a.m. I know that there are some people like me who are up kind of early, and that's the quietest part of my day to get those done. Oh, that is Central Standard Time. I'm in Mount Vernon, Texas. We're in Standard Time, or Central Time rather. So anyway, I will set up some notifications for the lives, and I go live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So I'm just chattering away here. I guess I'll let you go. If you haven't had dinner, have a nice dinner. And if you have a great evening and have a blessed day tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Nell stamping off.